The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
So, Billie Eilish tickets less than 10 minutes away here with Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Very exciting time. Case's movie reviews. So, Case has never seen most of the big movies out there. We've made that very clear, but people just joining the show right now, he's 25 years old, and the only movie he saw before he started this thing were Boys in the Hood and, is it Norbit?
Norbit and... Hey, there we go.
There we go. Sorry. My bad. There we go.
Boys in the Hood, Norbit, as we just established, I have seen American Pie and American Pie 2 numerous times. But those are all... Boys in the Hood was the outlier. That's like a drama movie that I had seen. The rest of them, dumb comedies.
I would imagine you watched American Pie super young and then just kept watching it and watching it and watching it.
That would be correct.
Not because the humor was so, like, on point.
No, it's comfort food.
Yeah,
it's like apple pie.
Yeah. I never wanted to eat apple pie again, but...
This is why I don't like apple pie.
Really?
Yeah.
Can't eat at other people's houses, for sure.
All right, so now, at this point now, it's been months. He's seen Shawshank Redemption. He's seen Roadhouse, Braveheart.
The Mummy.
The Mummy.
Back to the Future.
So and you're a better person for it. You admit that.
I've loved doing this. I've discovered I actually like watching movies. Part of the reason that I hadn't seen so many of them was that movies are just so long that I don't like committing that amount of time to it. But it turns out there are some really good movies out there.
Hot take.
Like today's movie, who was inspired by, this week, sadly, the woman at the beginning of the movie, which was the first naked woman I saw in a movie, sadly passed away at 77 years old. Great lady. Pioneer, if you will.
Please stop.
A trailblazer, a trendsetter.
In the beginning of the movie, she jumps in the water naked, skinny dipping, and then Jaws. The first appearance of Jaws, which you don't actually see in that scene. But here is the trailer, going back to the 70s for this movie trailer for the movie Jaws before Case gives his review.
There is a creature alive today
Oh, God.
who has survived millions of years of evolution
So good.
without change, without passion, and without logic. It lives to kill. A mindless eating machine. It will attack and devour anything. It is as if God created the devil and gave him jaws.
Oh, my God.
See it before you go swimming.
Holy crap.
Off the bat, greatest trailer of all time.
There's no question. Look at the goosebumps I
It's
got.
almost like a PSA. Like, hey, be careful.
Holy cow, was that amazing.
See it before you go swimming.
Oh, so good.
Pool companies were like, that's enough.
Hey now.
Sales are down. This is crap.
Sybaris was probably really pissed off at that time. The Sybaris whirlpools.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. So, Case watched this movie that terrified the country back in the 70s and got people to not go in the water. And in fact, to Kenzie's point there, so many of the resort areas lost millions, if not billions, because this movie came out and reminded us the water's not safe. In case you saw the movie, what do you think?
It's funny when a movie like this has such a legacy. Like, you can't imagine life without Jaws, but if you're like me and you haven't seen it before, you know the basic story, but you don't know the intricacies of the story. So going into this, I basically imagined a skateboard video, but for shark attacks, where I thought, oh, Jaws is just... the whole movie is going to be people getting eaten by sharks. That's just all it's going to be.
Sure.
It's going to be like a montage, basically. Turns out. What a compelling story of a crooked coroner, an evil mayor, a sheriff's deputy, a police chief, rather, that is just at a loss for words and solutions on what to do over this shark. It's one of the most, forget the violence of the shark attacks, which we will talk about. The story itself, one of the more interesting stories I've ever seen in a movie.
Wow.
I had no idea this level of corruption existed in Martha's Vineyard.
A lot of corruption, and the shark had enough of it. I'll tell you that much.
That's right.
No, it's so funny. Like, I don't know. Brian and I especially talk about this a lot, where I use the phrase we live in a post-truth society because nobody can believe on what actually has happened anymore.
I didn't think we were going there with the Jaws review, but go ahead.
But it's so nice to know that even in the 70s, everybody was paranoid and corrupt by capitalism, that the mayor's like, well, this is a beachfront town. We can't shut down the beach on the 4th of July. We'll lose all our businesses. It's like this is just like what happened with the pandemic 4 years ago.
I mean, imagine.
I mean, he had a point. What are you supposed to do?
I mean, imagine if a shark ate somebody at North Avenue Beach. Would the mayor go out and say, everybody go in the water? It's fine. What are you talking about?
Or if nobody's getting in the water, would he go up to his friend and be like, get in the water.
Yeah.
Get in the water.
Nobody's in the water. Well, I just put suntan lotion on. The guy says, I remember that in the movie.
That's so good.
I completely forgot about that line.
Just put lotion on. I can't go in the water yet. Apparently in the 70s, suntan lotion wasn't waterproof like today.
Well, it's we have a lot of advancements in our life, and that would be one of them.
So I guess just off the bat, it sounds like you liked the movie and loved it even.
I loved it because outside of one or two scenes, and this is a 2-hour movie, and again, one of my big complaints about Braveheart was too damn long. I struggle, especially once you get past the 2-hour mark. But outside of one or two scenes, I thought this movie carried really well. The only thing that I didn't really like, even though I know it was inspired by true events, was the monologue about the USS Indianapolis and the scene when they're on the boat and they're drinking after they've already seen Jaws, and they're just basically recapping it. I didn't like that. Just took too long. I didn't really like that.
It took too long. It's one of the greatest monologues in movie history.
It didn't grab me. A lot of this movie grabbed me. That did not grab me.
Shark grabbed him, monologue did it.
It's unbelievable. And it is a true story about, and Kenzie, I don't know if you know the story, but it was
Jaws?
No, the USS Indianapolis.
I was like, I don't think Jaws is based on a true story.
There are talks that it possibly was based on at least a shark attack. But anyway, the middle.
Well, yeah, shark attacks have happened.
But the thing is, before this movie, no one cared. No one cared if someone got eaten by a shark.
Hit by a shark. It's like Sharknado.
Yeah.
No,
Like
it
a
was
drive-by
Jaws.
shark incident.
A drunk driving shark hit somebody.
No one cared.
But this movie, that monologue, inspired me to go read the book about the USS Indianapolis, where they delivered the bomb in World War II, and then they came back, and the mission was so secret that they got hit by a torpedo, and about 1,000 guys went in the water, and 600 of them got eaten by sharks.
Wait,
Yes.
how was it so secret, but they knew about it and they were able to get them?
What, the sharks?
No.
The sharks knew about it.
It was a really big secret. Well, somebody knew.
Well, no, they were at war, and they saw a boat, and they threw a torpedo at it and shot it down, and they sunk. But no one knew that they delivered the atomic bomb that was going to drop on Japan, and all these guys were there. So because the mission was so secret that no one knew to go rescue them, because only a few people knew, even on our side, that they were delivering the bomb.
Oof. That's
Yeah.
not a safe thought process.
I mean, they didn't have an iPhone with the GPS on it then.
Damn shame.
Find my phone. Where are we? In the water. Shark's eating me. Come get me now.
They should have one of those buttons that we give old people.
I've fallen in the water and I can't get up because the shark's got my leg.
Yeah.
That'd have been good.
We got hit by a shark.
That's too bad. Too bad. There's so much suspense in this movie. Again, I guess it has to be stated again. My knowledge of movie is American Pie and Norbit. They're not the most suspenseful things I've ever seen. I don't really like being scared. I don't like getting scared for fun. I don't like haunted houses. I don't like scary movies. So I was a little nervous going into this. I'm pretty amazed that for a movie that's 50 years old, the suspense is still there, because you never really see the shark up until almost the end of the movie. And that's because, as we found out, during the filming process, the mechanical shark that they wanted to use kept on malfunctioning.
Yeah.
And so they pivoted and found a way to shoot the movie without seeing the shark. And it's terrifying.
It's the beginning of the genius of Steven Spielberg. The shark didn't work.
Yeah.
And so he said, well, let's just add this music to it and show the water. It's going to scare the hell out of everybody, because you don't see the shark that often, because if you saw him all the time, it wouldn't be that scary. Because it was a mechanical shark in the 70s didn't look that great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. Because I went on the ride at Universal.
Yeah.
Or I think it was Universal is where the Jaws ride was. That mechanical shark was also not that scary.
The ride good, though?
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think our boat's going to flip.
No, each of these attacks, because there's 4 shark attacks throughout the movie, including the big final one, but they're all chilling in their own way. Like, Brian, you have the audio there of the opening scene, and I want you to play that. Now, I apologize for everybody to everybody in advance. You're going to hear a woman screaming getting attacked by a shark for a second, but there's a point to it. So hang out and we'll all get through it together.
And this is the scene that inspired this movie watching this week.
Yes, that's right. This is the opening shark attack.
She goes in the water skinny dipping by herself. Oh.
The silence after she goes under is bone chilling.
Yeah.
That's what kicks it off. And then you got to remember there's the kid that gets attacked by the shark.
Yeah, the poor kid.
And then everybody rushes to their families on the shore, and his mom is looking for the child, and she can't find him, and that is awful.
Yeah.
And then there's the shark attack in the pond, where it's like, oh my God, the shark's in the pond, and the kids have to run out of the water, but then there's that one shot where you see the dismembered leg falling to the bottom of the ocean floor.
I love how excited you are right now.
It's all incredible. And then you get to the final one where the shark eats the captain of the ship, which, good, one of the most annoying characters in cinematic history.
Spoiler alert.
I did not like that guy.
He was great.
But that one is foul. It's just a disgusting display of cinematography, the way that captain gets eaten by the shark.
So, Case, just so you know, because Brian can relate, that vicious screaming and then all of a sudden the sudden stop is how babies act when they're waiting for a bottle.
Oh, interesting.
That's a fact.
That's like how my life sounds.
That's exactly it.
I thought my baby was here.
Because he's having PTSD about being home
like, oh
right
my
now.
God, where is he?
So do you want to rate it by a number or a star system, or what do you want to do here? On this
I would give it a 9 out of 10.
Damn. Okay, good.
Wow.
Because it has suspense, it has good action, it has super memorable characters. I like Brody a lot. I like his wife and how supportive she is in the whole thing. I love the shark expert they call in because I feel bad for him. Nobody's listening to him.
Richard
No one's
Dreyfuss.
listening.
He's just so bummed out that nobody will heed his advice. And then, of course, and I know we have to give away Billie Eilish tickets here in a second, but we have to talk about the mayor. Again, the crooked mayor.
One of the most evil people in movie history doesn't get credit.
It's unbelievable.
And I'm not telling you to watch Jaws 2, because that's fine. It's the same thing kind of in a way. But when the shark starts coming back, it's the shark that saw his mom get blown up at the end of Jaws.
Which, by the way, wasn't expecting the shark to get blown up.
How about
I did
that?
not know that's how it ends.
So
Was it the atomic bomb that they dropped off
no,
in Japan?
Just about.
It looked like it, the explosion, but did you see Jaws 2, Kenzie?
I don't think so.
So Jaws 2, the same kind of thing happens, okay? People start getting eaten.
I figured it was a similar.
Yeah. and the mayor goes to the Sheriff Brody goes to the mayor again and goes, look, we got to do something about it now because we've already been through this. I ain't doing it again. And the mayor goes, hey, Martin, don't push it this time. I mean, you had 8 to 10 people get eaten on your beach, and you're like, hey, man, don't bring this up again. It'll be fine this time. And the shark comes back again eating people, another shark. Dude, what an evil guy.
In fairness, he's like, it's not going to happen twice.
And
I wouldn't feel that way.
Come on.
But 2 people have already been eaten at this point in the movie, and he's like, don't push him, Martin.
Don't put
And they
people.
fire him.
I love that the coroner changed the report from this is clearly a shark attack to probably a propeller got him. Clearly it was a boating incident. I love that.
And when we're talking, that guy comes in and he goes like, I'll revise my report.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's
Evil.
the best.
Evil.
Well, they've been trying to warn us about this fake news.
Again, Billie Eilish tickets here in a second because also we're forgetting about one of the greatest movie lines of all time.
Yes. So this is right after they see the shark for the first time.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
That's right.
Yeah. And like to your point on Dirty Dancing, don't put baby, no one puts baby in a corner. This is an obvious monstrous line of all time. And Case was disappointed in it in the movie because it didn't really show what he thought it was going to be.
Well, I think it's just a difference in filmmaking now because I think now if you're going to make a big summer blockbuster, you write the script to where the main character is going to have a catchphrase at some point. You're going to have the line that you can market. But like we talked about with Dirty Dancing, when he says nobody puts baby in the corner, it sounds like he's got dip in his mouth. Like it's just a throwaway line. Like, I ain't nobody puts baby in the corner. And then they move on.
Yeah.
If this would have happened now, the camera would have panned in on his face. It would have been a sharp zoom. And you would have heard like, we're going to need a bigger boat. Dun, dun, dun. And that just doesn't happen here. It's really actually refreshing the way it's presented.
You know, Case watches 4 movies the last few weeks now. He's Quentin Tarantino.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.